Alright, let's look at the idea of organic chemistry. And in organic chemistry, we are going to be talking about organic compounds. Now, organic compounds, basically all in this series, we are just going to be talking about the organic compounds. And what are organic compounds? So these are compounds that you will find. So basically these are compounds that will have a carbon molecule or carbon atom, which will be bonded to either hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, or a chlorine. Okay, so organic chemistry, in this particular chapter, we can also, by the way, call this something as the carbon chemistry, because everything in this series is going to involve carbon. Okay, one more thing that you guys need to know here, which is very important, and that is something that you guys have done in the previous sections as well, are the valencies. Now, why is it important? Because when we are going to be forming compounds, we need to know how many bonds a particular atom can form. So let's talk about carbon. Now, carbon, if we talk about the carbon's outermost shell, we know the configuration for carbon is 14, and its outermost shell, it has 4 electrons. So now to complete this shell, it's going to be covalently bonded to any other atom which will share 4 electrons, which means that carbon can make 4 bonds. In a similar way, when we talk about oxygen, oxygen we know has the electronic configuration of 16, and in its outermost shell it has 2, 4 and 6 electrons. So to complete this shell, it only needs 2 electrons from any other molecule. Okay, which means it's only going to be forming how many bonds? Only 2 bonds. Okay. Now on the other hand, we have nitrogen. Nitrogen, in its outermost shell, it has the electronic configuration of 15, and its outermost shell has 5 electrons, which means it needs 3 more electrons, 3 more, to form a stable ion, to form a stable compound, which means it can form 3 bonds. And at last we have hydrogen. And the most important of this series is hydrogen, oxygen, and carbon. You're going to get nitrogen as well, but not that as much. So hydrogen, we know that hydrogen only has a single bond because it has an electronic configuration of 1. So since it has a single bond, its outermost shell becomes its first shell, and we only need 1 electron to complete it into a form of a stable compound. So it shares 1 electron and it makes only a single bond. Okay, and this is all the things that you guys need to know before we dive deep into the chapter. Okay.